You just died in Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Or, more likely, you got disconnected and lost all of your gear. So you need to know the fastest way to get it all back. And you want to do it as fast as possible. Well, today, we're going from 0 to hero in just one game. Let's get started. And it all starts with our loadout here. To start off, you can grab any contraband weapon that you are most comfortable with. Personally, I prefer any assault rifle or SMG. But don't get too picky, it's really not that big of a deal here in Zombies. For your tactical grenade, the decoys are fantastic at distracting the zombies and giving you some safe space. Lethals, you have your own options. I prefer the Molotov, some people like Semtex, and also Thermites are really good for bosses. For our field upgrade, Aether Shroud is a great get out of jail free card. Personally, I really like Tesla Storm, but today we're gonna go with Energy Mine because it's the first one that you unlock, and it's not half bad either. So with nothing in our character, nothing in our backpack, let's jump in game. And my oh my, could we have not gotten a more perfect spawn right here. This is amazing. One of the most important things about this early game is looting caches. And the number one thing that will help you loot all of these caches, oh, speaking of, you are gonna want depth perception. And because you beautiful people watch my videos, you know exactly how to get a free depth perception. All you need to do is go through these rings and voila, we have a free depth perception in this portal right here. That is really good. And funnily enough, the next thing we're gonna do is actually raid a terminus camp, which so happens to be right here. Shooting down that counter UAV, at least for me personally, helps out quite a bit. They did nerf these guys, so they are much easier to take on, especially solo. They don't automatically drain all of your plates like they did in the launch of the game. Now, raiding these terminus camps or these mercenary camps is good for a couple of things. These guys drop a ton of plates and a ton of weapons, so if you want to, if you want to change your weapons, you can look through all of their loot, but also they have a huge probability of dropping a gas mask. So just like that, we already have a gas mask ready to go. And in this chest, we are going to find a 2-plate armor vest, which is really good. That's awesome. And a mercenary stronghold key card, which is going to be huge for this run. They do have a small chance of dropping a durable gas mask, but it's not all that common. So we're not even 5 minutes into the game. We've got depth perception, a 2-plate armor vest, and a gas mask. This is off to a great start. And as you can see, as you're looting, you can see these things through walls. Cash registers always have points, and these merc caches are always really great loot, so always open those whenever you see them. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do this Aether nest right here. Thankfully, we've got this gas mask, which is gonna help out a ton, and depth perception obviously allows us to see through walls so we can see exactly where those cysts are. Always use caution when you do this because shooting those cysts will cause a lot of zombies to spawn in. It's always useful to throw a decoy grenade in here, I found. And just like that, the activity is complete. They're all around the decoy, so you can just mow them all down. Looks like we've got some tier 2 zombies making their way in here. Not a bad case to use the Molotov here. They do a lot of damage to them. All right, I did miss the max ammo that spawns in, but right here, ooh, look at that. We've got some ammo mods, which is gonna really help us out. And a lot of these guys have weapons in them. So always, if you're not happy with your weapon, always try to come in here and loot these things because there is a high chance that you will get a weapon. Now that we've got another weapon, we've got some ammo mods, we are going to take on this mercenary stronghold. Since we've got the key card, we can just go ahead and open this up right here. And because we have depth perception, check this out. We could just go through the walls here and see where everyone's at. Of course, always checking for gas masks and whatever. And when you do these strongholds, these guys will spawn in, but I always like to throw a Molotov. Obviously, you can shoot them when they're coming down the ladder or the rope, just like that, all taken care of. And with the shield guys, throwing a Molotov or a Semtex or Thermite or whatever does wonders. And you could always shoot at his feet as well. Using depth perception, you can kind of see where they're coming from to finish them off. And I believe that's it. All we need to do now is loot this safe. Now that helicopter is going to return in the exact same area as you first saw it. So what I like to do is I like to come up to it and throw down an energy mine right where I know they're going to be. And then once they hit it, it will hit them once, twice, and another time. And just like that, they are all done. And that's the only thing you have to worry about the strongholds. Just sit near the safe after you've taken out that helicopter and you are gold. Because once you open the safe, you are going to get a guaranteed 3-plate armor vest. chest, and the legacy fortress keycard if you want that, but we do not. From here, be sure to loot up everything that you can. These lockers over here tend to have better loot, I've discovered. Lots of things that you can sell at buy stations. It's really not that bad. These large merc caches are really good, having a couple things in here, another gas mask and another weapon. Very, very nice. All right, moving our way through these little buildings. Obviously, you can kind of take a look at these whenever you want to. Whoa. But from what I've noticed, these tool chests, these toolboxes don't have all that much good loot in them, and it looks like somebody has already looted all of these things. So we should be fine to just move on. Try not to get too distracted by killing zombies because they aren't worth that many points, and when you're trying to gear up, you don't want to waste any time. And because we're so close to the stamina machine, why not drink it and then always make sure to prone in front of it to get that loose change. Now we are going to do one last thing before heading into tier 2, or at least completing some contracts before we can go into tier 2. We are going to be taking on this infested stronghold. Same principles apply with the Aether Nest. As soon as you shoot these guys, it will activate and start spawning a whole bunch of zombies. So throwing down decoys is always a great idea, especially with how close quartered these get. And if you notice that your gas mask is a little low, there is usually always an ammo box close by that you can just run on over to and refill not only your equipment, but as well as your gas mask. Also, there is a ton of points in these infested strongholds, so that's really nice too. And just like that, we are all done. And just like the Aether Nest, you will get a free max ammo. Make sure you clear out all of the enemies because there's going to be a lot of them. And now we can check these loot crates here for anything good. We got elemental pop, and we've got a green aether tool for our weapon. We've got speed cola and a pack-a-punch crystal. Symbol monkey, another aether tool. A purple ISO. We're going to take that, and a deadbolt turret. Let's go. And some more armor plates. Okay, another 2-plate vest. You may have noticed I didn't automatically apply that pack-a-punch because exactly what just happened. I got a better weapon, so if I had applied that pack-a-punch right away, I might not have been able to be the most optimal I could have been. But also, depending on how much time you have left in the game, you may want to just hold on to that crystal and a medium rucksack. Look at that, beautiful. I'm telling you, those lockers are really underrated. Yes, depending on how much time you have left in your game, you may want to hold on to that aether crystal for the next run you have. But for our purpose, you better believe I'm using this Ethereum crystal on this purple gun. Now we are ready for tier 2, and we are closer to tier 3. Now what we can do is start focusing on contracts. So now the quick contracts are going to be like the deliver cargo contracts, and in tier 2, we're going to want to be over here. But because we're so far away, we are going to use these portal rifts right here to travel fast. The link to the website that I use for this thing will be in the description, but for 1,000 points, we can use this portal, jump on in, and then we are all the way on the other, well, not on the other side, but we traveled a great distance in a short amount of time. Combining those fast travel things as well as vehicles and tall rooftops is huge on saving time. So we are going to grab this deliver cargo contract, and then we're going to open this garage. Hey, there's a disciple right there, donuts, but no matter. We'll still go into this, kind of just avoid them and finish out this contract. All right, that was a little bit closer than I thought it was going to be, but we did it. And now that we're completing contracts, we can get the potential to get some really good stuff like a self-revive and another crystal from that rift. Very nice. There are 3 base perks that I think you should have for maximum survivability here in Modern Warfare Zombies. Those 3 are going to be Juggernog, Speed Cola, and Stamina Up. Lucky for us, we already have Speed Cola and Stamina Up. Oh, there's a guy right there. So we just needed Juggernog. And so the rest of this game is going to be pretty darn simple from here on out. We are going to be doing as many contracts as we can to get as many points as we can so that we can get ourselves a large backpack and finish this whole thing off. Oh my goodness, these containers are huge. Very, very good loot in there. If you ever see one, make sure to look in it. Like I said, depth perception, crazy underrated. Also because when you're doing these things, you can just shoot through the wall, kill those mercenaries, not even worry about them. Depth perception. It's fantastic. There's our daily dose of the convoy we always see in every video. Another reward, we've got Stamina Up, which we already have. We could save that for the next game. Looking at the TAC map, we're going to see another really close cargo delivery mission. Now, I know I've been doing these deliver cargo missions, and that's like the popular meta right now, but also HVTs and even the egg spore contracts are really good for speed as well. It's just that I've been getting lucky and having these guys really close to me. We've got a Deadshot dash Valkyrie recipe, which we already have, and Tombstone. Once again, we only have about 15 minutes left, so be sure you're looking at all of your rewards and saving those you want to use for the next game. Because the next game you play, you're not going to need to worry about Pack-a-Punch anymore, you're going to have a better weapon, and you're going to have a perk or two. So it is going to be even easier to set up and start doing these contracts, which is kind of the meat and potatoes of what you want to do. So in tier 1 with a purple Pack-a-Punch 1 gun, these HVTs are pretty darn easy. And look at that, we got Shatter Blast. Okay, cool. ATVs are like my favorite. Oh boy, that was a little scary. ATVs are my favorite way of transporting because they're just so darn fast. And by now, if you're doing contracts and you still don't have like a good gun that you feel comfortable with, obviously using the mystery box is a great choice, or buying a gun off the wall is also there as well. I think this is the same one we just did. That's all right with me. And with this contract, we should have near 15,000 points. There we go. And look at that. We've got a Juggernog and a blue Aether tool. I'm going to use that to replace that green one. Now, 15,000 points, you might be asking yourself, Donus, are you going to double Pack-a-Punch your weapon? Are you going to go buy a kill streak, which you definitely can do? No. Instead, we're going to do something incredibly crazy. First of all, those little teleport things are fantastic for quick points because they have these strings of essence containers in a line right here, kind of like they were in Outbreak. So you can kind of float through the air and get a lot of points that are worth, I think, 500 points each. Yep, 500 points each. So you could sit here and get a couple thousand points for free. So we are going to hit this ammo cache right here, reset our grenades as well as our gas mask. But also I want to show you the buy station in tier 2 because tier 2 gives you a self revive, which was I was originally going to go for a self revive here, as well as a 3-plate armor vest and some kill streaks if you want to. So if you don't get lucky in the strongholds and whatever like I did, these buy stations are really consistent for getting geared up. And speaking of buy stations, that's exactly where I'm gonna be going. We are going to drop this Chimera and we are going to run with our fists out because we are going to tier 3. We are still in need of a large backpack as well as a durable gas mask. Is it smart going into tier 3 just for a durable gas mask? Absolutely not, but I'm going to do it anyway. I know this is a purple Pack-a-Punch tier 1 gun, but it's not going to do anything in tier 3. Maybe it'll keep the dogs off, but that's about it. This entrance right here is my favorite entrance to use for tier 3. You can see our buy station is right here, so it's going to be a mad dash to get there. But with this entrance, you're not going to get the abomination like you get at a couple different entrances. And because you're running without a weapon and you're not generally shooting anything, you're going to be pretty stealthy. Also, this orb right here is a fantastic orb to farm if you're in the area. It will give you a good chance at a purple Aether tool, which is awesome. Oh yeah, this gun is actually going to be good for dogs. Cool. Dogs are your only concern here in tier 3, at least a little bit. Because of how fast you sprint, these zombies aren't that big of a deal. So around this buy station is probably going to be a bunch of zombies and a mangler usually. So what I like to do, there's teams here. Okay, cool. I'll throw a decoy over there, come over here, buy large backpack, durable gas mask. We did it, boys. It's over. Oh, that little glitch. You just open that. We'll close that. Good. We got a durable gas mask, large backpack. Awesome. Now, if you run straight to the left like I just did, there's this big open area. And if we go around this corner, there is a zip line right here. We can just take it and get out of tier 3 just like that. And it gives us on top of this oil rig thing, which is really nice because now we can kind of take a second and kind of look at our tack map here. There's a lot of clutter here on the tack map. So if you want to know where the exfils are really quickly, just scroll all the way back, zoom all the way out, and it will only show you the exfils and the other players in the game. Scrolling in a little bit more, you'll get these icons. Scrolling in a little bit more, you'll see the contracts and Pack-a-Punch locations. And then scrolling in, you get all the detailed stuff and everything. But we're going to use this exfil right here, and we are going to do a nice little superhero leap off of this. We're going to sprint, dive, and then parachute. Now, obviously, we didn't get all the perks. We didn't get Pack-a-Punch tier 3. We don't have a gold weapon right now. But that's not the entire point of this mode. The entire point is not to get everything in one game like it is in traditional zombies. This is an extraction shooter. And from all the things that we could extract, we've got a ton of great stuff. We got a perk and an Aether crystal and an Aether tool for the next game. So the next game, we could just apply these to our weapons and go straight into tier 2 and start grinding contracts for double pack-a-punch, that'll get us to tier 3 and getting those contracts. The combat loop of Modern Warfare Zombies is not contained within one game. It is a setup process that you can be on for weeks and even months at a time, especially when you factor in schematics and story missions and act missions. This is a really cool mode. Also, I forgot we did even get a schematic in this very game. We got a Deadshot schematic, I think. But as you can see, in one game, we took this operator from absolutely nothing to being the best operator I have in the game. The only thing left to do is to hop back in and grind out some schematics. Which, by the way, did you know that every single schematic is actually tied to a specific threat level here in Modern Warfare Zombies? Find out all of the locations of those schematics here and stay beautiful.